started off the season 3-4. Then Blake Harrell took over as the interim head coach, and the East Carolina Pirates went 5-1, won their bowl game against NC State, and ended their season on a high note. Katin Houser made an immediate impact at quarterback, and he's back again this season. And we're back here at the American Football Kickoff. I'm Maria Tribal-Peace alongside Rini Angolia, Lige Duzable, and the head coach of the East Carolina Pirates, Blake Harrell. Coach, welcome. We are so excited that you're here with us today.
Yeah, so excited to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Your team was a lot of fun to watch last year, especially the job that you did coming in, turning that season around. And so let's start there. I know it's a new season, but how were you able to do that, and how do you continue to bring that to this year?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, not just for myself, but for everybody involved in the program, Pirate Nation. And what you saw was it was about focusing on the day, focusing on the moment, and not worrying about the December, or not worrying about the outcome or what could happen. You know, is a coach going to be moving or selling his house, or am I going to go into the portal if I'm a player? All those things could have crossed your mind. It could have went a lot of different ways. But we rallied around those seniors, we rallied around each other, and made sure everybody knew that, hey, your job's important. Let's make it about each other. And it really kind of pulled our fan base back together too, and really a community in a time that was broken a little bit. You know, you're coming off a 3-4 start, lost 4 out of the last 5, and just the way our kids rallied around each other and went at it and got a big win against Temple, and turned around, followed up with FAU, and just created that excitement within our locker room and within our fan base. Was pretty special to be a part of.
Yeah, Coach, I want to lead into that transition for you, right? You talked about it starting 3-4. What was that transition like for you, going from D coordinator to head coach? Now you're in charge of everything. And obviously you saw the players, right? They were elated when you got the job, the excitement you guys had in the locker room. But what was that transition for you, not only as becoming the head coach, but then also the players realizing now this is the head coach of our team?
Right. You really don't have time to think about it at the moment. You know, you hit the ground running, it's go, go, go.
Yeah.
And all you're thinking about is, hey, what are we going to do defensively to get everything done? And it wasn't just about, you know, me being the head coach. It was about our whole staff kind of stepping up and taking on extra ownership and kind of helping each other out. And I think that's what, you know, at the moment, you know, in this game, unfortunately, you can have some guys that focus on themselves or focus on me, but at that time, everybody came together to focus on the team, and that was pretty special. And we've kept that same mindset, that same belief and culture into the offseason. There's a lot of things that you learn going through that event that you can carry over and you can take forward into 2025.
Talking about last year, obviously, everything you just said, but you had to go out and get a DC. So you went out and got Josh Aldridge, linebacker coach at Auburn. But before that, very successful defensive coordinator. Was at Liberty. I had a chance to call one of his games. What made you go get Josh?
Yeah, I've known Josh for over 10 years, and just thought on the road, every time I'd bump into him, you know, out recruiting, he was a relentless recruiter, and just the energy he had and just his, you know, work ethic and recruiting, I knew that carried over to football. And he'd been at Lenore-Ryan at one time. I'd been at Lenore-Ryan at one time, and seen his success at Liberty, and just thought that, you know, he could help us not only attain really good talent, but bring some really good energy to our defense, help us grow in a direction that we wouldn't be stagnant, so to speak, and wouldn't be just thinking inside the box. We could think outside the box a little bit and move in the right direction.
So that's what I was going to ask, too, just to follow up. Philosophy style, was Josh similar to you as a DC, or would he bring some wrinkles and you guys are change some stuff up?
There's definitely some similarities, but there's some wrinkles. What I keep saying is, hey, we're still serving ice cream. Sometimes it's maybe a little bit different flavor. my kids love ice cream, so I still do that.
So let's talk about your quarterback, Katin Houser. When he took over at quarterback, even in the loss to Army, it felt like the offense really took off. Anthony Smith's production went through the roof. Just talk about, now that he's entrenched as the starter, what have you seen from him going into this season?
Yeah, I can't say enough about Katin. Just the way he finished the season. And a lot of people think about his arm and the way he threw the ball through the air, but it was also through the ground game.
Correct.
On the ground too, and with his legs, and in the bowl game we saw that. And he's been his commitment to Pirate Nation, and just, you know, and the current landscape of college football today, could have easily left and took an opportunity somewhere else. But he loves being a Pirate. And this offseason, I've seen him, you know, step up new ways and take ownership of our football team. And he's leading from the front. So I'm really excited about his 2025 season.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you go for it.
I want to stay on offense. Your offense coordinator, JDB, John David Baker, for those who don't know, when that offense is humming, which it started humming under Katin last year, it is tough to defend. Where it slows down is the turnovers. And I know it's something something Caton will probably want to work on. And that turnover ratio, I think you guys were minus 8, and that's something JDB is going to want to work on, protecting the football in that offense.
There's no question. And Coach Baker, to have him back and have our whole offensive staff back and that continuity.
Yeah.
I'd say last year we're installing, we're at a 100 level, and now we're already at that 400 or 500 level class, and it's been pretty special. But he's actually covering for me today up in Raleigh. I think they had the Kickoff Classic with some of the ACC coaches up there, so he's covering for me, and I appreciate him doing that. But I think you mentioned we were second to last in the country in turnovers, and we talked to our players all off season about the plan to win. And number one is it's all about the ball.
Yeah.
And offensively, that's taking care of the football. Defensively, that's creating turnovers. And I think some of that comes with experience too.
Sure.
Now you're not learning an offense, or you're not installing a new scheme. You have some familiarity, some comfort with each other.
Yeah.
And we got to focus on that. And I think you win 8 games, you have that stat. What can we do if we take care of the football, and especially early in the season?
For sure.
You briefly touched on the bowl game just a little bit ago, so I want to bring it back to that conversation because you're opening up with NC State. And so after the success that you had last season, how do you bring that to this rivalry that's been bubbling all summer long?
Yeah, what a unique opportunity. You finish the season with the same opponent you opened the season with. Not many times does that happen in college football. And it has a lot of focus from our fan base, from their fan base right now. Obviously, our focus within our building is on our program and ourselves and how we can get better each and every single day to help us grow and help us have an outstanding 2025 season. It's an hour and 15 minutes up the road. I think it's a great opportunity, to play a regional game, play an ACC opponent, and I think we should do more of that in college football.
Let me jump in real quick. I can't confirm it, but I was reading this morning. I think there might be some bulletin board information from Dave Dorn from NC State that he said on a radio show about wanting to get after you guys again. So obviously you don't need motivation, but if a coach happens to say something and it's game one, it fits, do you kind of put that on the locker room wall as the players are coming off practice?
I think your motivation is more internal than external.
Sure.
And you always got to keep it focused on that and focused on the Pirates. And each and every single week, I always tell our players, it's the biggest game of the year because it's the next game of the year.
Sure.
And I think as coaches, as athletes, we have a competitive mindset that, we want to go win the game. We want to go do, play the game the right way, do the right things, but we want to go take care of business. Why do we practice, year long? Why do we put so many hours in? It's what we've done our whole entire life. And we would definitely want to go compete and win the football game. So that's where we're at. And obviously our focus right now will be on ourselves. And as we get closer to game week, we'll start moving into our next opponent.
Coach, as you guys get ready for training camp, what has been your message to the team to not only handle their business on the field, but off the field as well?
Yeah, I mean, we broke the offseason up into 4 quarters. The first quarter being the winter training, the second quarter being the spring football, and the third quarter being the summer. So it's really just focusing on each and every single season. As we go into the fourth quarter of this, the preseason camp is ready to attack it. We got a lot of work left to do. We got 34 days until game day. If we go into August 28th and we're at right now, and then we don't have a chance to win the football game. We got to get better every single day and be ready to take that step.
Coach, I watched a great interview you did with Maria earlier this year, and you made a comment, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about us. Is that something that really is permeating around your team and something that you talk to them about?
Yeah, I appreciate Maria coming to Greenville and checking it out.
We had a lot of fun. We talked about softball, too. His daughter's playing
Greenville's a great college town, by the way.
We actually have a softball tournament tomorrow. So my last Saturday before preseason camp, I'm going to spend a 7-year-old softball tournament.
I miss those days, so enjoy that.
Super excited about it. But yeah, it's and I think that's just a team mindset.
Yeah.
And that's it came out last season, in the middle of the season. I think we just won our first game and was talking to the guys. Hey, it wasn't about any individual in that locker room. It was about us as a collective unit. And that's who we really got to be. I think, we talked about bringing 53 new players into our program.
Yeah.
And how fast I think the teams that do the best job of bringing guys into their locker room and becoming a team the fastest are the teams you're going to see have a chance to win ball games come in the fall. And that's really where our focus is. We understand, hey, we may have limitations within our level of football, our conference, whatever it meant. But I don't look at those things. I look at how blessed we are, the opportunity we have, and what we can create within our locker room and what we can take forward.
Speaking of that, what is that transition like when you got a whole bunch of new players come in and you're trying to build that culture with new guys, and you got the holdover from last year? Do you really lean on your players in that aspect when it comes to some of the new players coming onto your team?
I am blessed. I am blessed to have guys like Raheem Craig and Caton Hauser that are doing that. You know, so for me, it's been a pretty smooth transition. You think 53 new players, you think, well, you're going to have to teach a whole new culture, how you do things, how you go about your business. But I think the guys that are in place are doing a great job of, hey, here's the standard, here's the expectations, you know, and the guys coming in, to their credit too, whether it be the 23 new freshmen we brought in or some transfer guys, are doing a great job of, hey, I just want to find a way to help the football team. I want to help a way to help the Pirates win football games. So that's been pretty special.
It'll be fun to watch how your team comes together. Coach, good luck this season, and good luck at 7-year-old softball as well.
Hopefully we get some hits and keep the ball in front of us.
That might be a bigger challenge in the season.
Yeah, can they throw to first, too? That's another one we got to look out for.
Throw and catch can be a challenge. But thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on, and thank you guys for all your coverage of East Carolina, and always a joy to have you guys in Greenville.
Thanks,
Joy to have you here today, Coach. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at your schedule for the upcoming season. We already mentioned that NC State game. Now let's send it over to Hannah at the desk.
Thanks so much, Maria. I'm joined alongside quarterback Caton Hauser and outside linebacker Raheem Craig. Guys, just how are you doing today, and how's it been being in rivalry country here in Charlotte?
Doing good. I'm excited to be here, excited to represent ECU Pirates, and honestly just having a good time.
Yeah, man, that's a great opportunity, man. I'm living it up to the fullest.
I know you guys did a little BP yesterday. How did that go for you? Did you get any home runs? What was that like?
Yeah, I went 10 for 10 at the batting cage. You know, the Knights, you know, they I think they're gonna contact me here soon about maybe, you know, walking on in my off time, you know, come try out for their team.
So do we need to tell Coach Harrell that you're not going to be playing football?
No, I'm definitely going to be playing football. You know, after the season probably done, I think they'll probably have me come out for a little tryout or something like that, you know. They ain't seen nobody else hit no home runs out the park like I was doing yesterday.
We'll be sure to talk to the MLB scouts. But, guys, let's talk some football. For you both, first year under Coach Harrell this season, what was the team's response to him taking off that interim title and being named the official head coach?
I think the biggest thing, we just all rallied behind him. Showed us a lot of love, really brought everyone together. We all just came out and played for him, really brought the team together, and I think that's what carried us to the end of the season, had that strong finish.
Yeah, follow off, Katie, you know, I feel like we all just, you know, bonded with Coach Harrell so much, you know, after every win we want Harrell, you know, and Coach Harrell, that's our dog, man, you know. Great guy, man. I love Coach Harrell.
What's different about him? What does he bring to ECU that it's needed or it needs this season moving forward?
He brought that bond that we was needing. You know, brought us together closer, demanded us to you know, come together as one and, you know, work together as a team, you know, more of like a family type of deal.
I would say, too, he brought a lot of energy. We went out and played every game, having fun. We just came out swinging. We just go have fun with it, go score a bunch of points, go stop them on defense. And honestly, just had a lot of fun last year. So that's kind of what he brought to us last year.
And then, Caton, let's kick things off with you a little bit. You took over the offense at the midway point from Jake Garcia. I mean, you threw for 2,000 yards. Just talk to me a little bit about what you took from him, what you learned in that year, and the work you've been putting this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, just at the beginning of the season, getting humble, just knowing that you don't get a lot of chance playing football. So having the opportunity to just kind of step in halfway through the season, kind of take control, and just get more comfortable, get more confident as the season went on. Just really flourished towards the end of the season, and I want to carry that on to this year.
I know you underwent surgery for a fractured throwing wrist that limited you this spring, but how are you feeling? How's that recovery been? And just, are you healthy getting back into the season?
Yeah, I feel 100% right now. Was in a cast early on in spring, kind of missed a little bit of spring ball. Came back in summer. We've been throwing, getting ready for fall camp. I feel like I'm in really good shape, so I'm excited to attack this year.
Raheem, how are you doing? What's your motivation behind your game as you approach the season?
It's my last one, you know. I give thanks to God every day waking up, you know. My motivation, you know, I got a family to feed back home. You know, I got a whole bunch of little brothers, nieces, and nephews, you know. So I wake up, you know, I look on my mirror every morning and it says, thank you, God, for waking me up. And I got a list of things that I want to do this year, you know, for the people that I want to do it for, you know. So I feel like that's what keeps me motivated when times get hard, when, you know, I feel like, you know, everything's going south, you know, that's what I resort back to.
I love that. I love hearing you talk about that. And also just the motivation. You've also had a little bit of change on defense. I'm curious what it was like for you having Coach Harrell be your defensive coordinator, now your head coach, and then you have Josh Aldridge coming in from Auburn.
Coach Harrell tries to sneak his way back over there to the defense side of the ball sometimes, during, he misses us. He got to be over there with Caden and them, But Coach Alders, man, great guy, man. I love Coach Alders, man. He'll do anything he'll get a shirt off your back for one of his players, man. He treats us like his own, So he came in, demanding hard work and effort, I feel like that's what we've been doing since January till now.
You guys end the year 5-3 and 8-5. How does this team find its way into the conference championship this year?
We just go game by game, try to win every game on our schedule, and then everything else will play out for itself.
Yeah, compete with ourselves every week. We go out there, we compete with ourselves to be better than what we did last week for the next week.
And Coach just said, it's about us. What does that mean to you both as you enter this new season?
We just focus on the guys in the locker room. I just feel like once we build that bond, we really just focus on the guys in the locker room and not worry about our opponent really. Just really focus on us and how we can get better each and every week. The rest will take care of itself. We'll go out and win every game.
Yeah, man, just keep it inside the locker room, block out all outside noises, put our head down, just work, man. Saturday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, show up, we got to show out.
Absolutely. That is the mindset you got to have here in the American Conference. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining me here at the Players Desk, and just best of luck to you both this season.
Thank you.
Back to you, Maria.